Good morning. Today we're going to be working on some factoring. Now, yesterday we were looking at the greatest common factor and yanking that out of it. Today we're going to be looking at something, we're going to kind of be like defoiling. Remember, foiling was when we had two terms in parentheticals and we were distributing first, outside, inside, last. Today what we're going to be doing is going the other way. Okay? So x squared plus 3x minus 10. Okay? So we're going to be looking at something like this, x squared plus 3x minus 10. And we need to break that into its two original components. So they're going to have an x plus something and an x minus something and x plus something. Something like that. Okay? So our final answer is going to be in that form. Okay? We need to get our x's in there. Alright? That's what we're shooting for. Now, if you remember when we did foiling, that the last two terms, when we did last, the two constants where there were no variables, when those two multiplied together, that gave us another constant. So that's our 10. Okay? So one of the first things we have to do is say, okay, how do I get 10? What two numbers, when I multiply together, are going to give me 10? So we're going to make a little list over here. My options for 10. We've got 1 and 10, 2 and 5, and this is a nice way to do this. Just kind of slowly break your way up. Okay? So 1, 2, it's not divisible by 3, it's not divisible by 4, and 5 we've already covered, so we're done. That's it. Okay? So we know that these two terms are either going to be 1 and 10 or 2 and 5. We don't know which yet, but we know that it's going to be some combination of those. It will not be 1 and 5 or 2 and 10. It has to be this pair or this pair. We just have to figure out which one. Okay? And the way we do that is we stare at it for a little bit, intently, and we ask ourselves, when we did FOIL, and we combined our like terms in the middle, that was addition or subtraction. So, looking at these possibilities, which pair, using either addition or subtraction, is going to give me a 3? Well, there's no way that 1 and 10 can get me a 3. It's either 1 plus 10, which is 11, 1 minus 10, which is negative 9, 10 minus 1, which is a positive. We can either get 9, 11, or the negative versions of those. Okay? Keep in mind you could have like negative 1 minus 10 too. Okay? So that's a possibility. So it's got to be this 2 and a 5. So how am I going to get to 3 from 2 and 5? Well, I want to do 5 minus 2, because this is a positive 3x. Okay? So I want it to be positive. So the bigger number is going to be addition, and the smaller number is going to be subtraction. So that's how that's going to work, as I want a positive 5 minus 2. And we can check this. Okay? We know that our x's are right. Okay? Because x times x will give me x squared. There were no other options for that. We know that my 5 and 2 are going to be right. We just have to figure out what way. So, let's just double check that. This gives me a 5x. That gives me a negative 2x. 5x minus 2x gives me that 3x that I'm looking for. So that's the right answer. Let's do one more. Now, eventually, the goal is to be able to have a coefficient, that means a number of this x squared, other than 1. Okay? Throw an 8 there and still be able to do this. That's kind of the next step, but I want to have this down first. Okay? We'll also be trying some difference of squares. We'll be looking at that tomorrow, or on Monday rather. Right now, we're just going to deal with this kind of problem. It's a lot of guess and check. Okay? So, there is a little bit of resilience, a little persistence, okay? You got to keep throwing stuff at this problem until you find the right answer, okay? If you throw some numbers at it and it doesn't work out, that's fine. You got a lot of options, okay? So we'll always have, at least for this assignment, start with an x squared. After that, let's throw in like, I like that number. Let's do a minus 1x. Minus 72, which I believe will work for me. Okay? So, The reason I'm using 72 right now in this example, what I want you to see is a bigger number. Okay? 72's got a lot of possibilities, and I want to be able to work through those with you. And I think you see a little bit over here. I'm watching my screen over there. So let's break down that 72. Okay? All the different factors. 1 and 72 is my first one. Don't forget that one. A lot of folks do as you're listing the factors. Now, if I were a betting man, it usually is not 1 and the original number, but make sure that you get it down. And then work your way up. So we know that 72 is divisible by 2, so we're doing 2 next. 2 and 36. Is it divisible by 3? It sure is. 3 and 24. For fans of Majora's Mask, that is 100% why I remember that 3 times 24 is 72. Because at the beginning of the game, it tells you 72 hours remain. I played that later. Good game. 4. We know we're divisible by 4. Excuse me, Ruth. Justice Ginsburg, that was Ruth me. 4, we're going to have 20 minus 2, that's going to be 18. 5 is not going to go into 72. 6 will. 6 will go in, let's see here, 10, 11, 12 times. 7 will not go in. 8 will go in 9 times. And then if we look at the 9, we realize, oh, 9's already covered. Okay? So I know I'm done. Once you see something in this column, and you're trying to check it on this column, as you're counting up, you're done. So once we get into the middle here, this 8 and 9, we know I've got all of them as long as I'm checking every single number. And it would be a really good idea for you to probably have a calculator out so you're checking those as you go. I do a handful of mental tricks. Like 2, for example, if it's even, I know it's divisible by 2. For 3, I know 3 will go into 60. And 72 is 12 more than 60. And I know 3 also goes into 12. So 3 goes into both 60 and 12. So I know it'll go into 72. 4, I know that 4 goes into 80 really well, because 4 times 2 is 8, times 10 is 80. 72 is 8 less than 80, so I know 4 is going to work. 6, we know goes into 60. 60 plus 6 plus 6 is 72, so I know that's going to work. 8 and 9, I know 8 will go into 80, because 8 times 10 is 80, and 72 is 8 fewer. So, like, those are just kind of what I do in my brain thoughts. But it may benefit you to grab a calculator and just go 1 by 2 by 3 by 4 by 5 by 6 by 7 by 8. And once you get to 8, you're done. So you only have to do it 8 times, but it's a really good idea to make sure that you get all of these. Because occasionally, you'll, like, miss the one you need. All right, so looking at these, we need, by addition or subtraction, to get a 1. Okay? 1 and 72 will give me a 71 or a 73. Positive or negative, but we're nowhere close. Because I'm nowhere close, I might skip down to the bottom here. 8 and 9. 8 and 9 have a difference of 1, so I really like that one. Looking at the differences here, this will give me 6 or 18, 14 or 22, 21 or 27, 34 or 38 are my other possibilities. So by addition or subtraction, what can I get? And obviously there are both positives, I shouldn't say obviously, but positive or negative values for each of those. So 8 and 9 are going to be what I want. All of my answers today will be in this form. A couple of things as you're entering these into the assignment. Don't put spaces anywhere. And don't put the 1 X's, because that's going to get marked wrong. Not because it's like wrong, but the system will read it as wrong, as different than the notation that I use. Okay? So then we're looking for 8 and 9. So now we need to look at, we want the 8 and 9. This is a negative. Okay? So I'm going to want 8, a positive 8, minus 9. Or you can think about it the other way if that helps. Negative 9 plus 8. So either one of those ways, the way you think about it will work. Oh, I should clarify that too now that I'm thinking about it. If you write in x minus 9 times x plus 8, you should have covered at some point in time in your mathematical careers that the order of multiplication doesn't matter. Okay? So these two answers are both correct. They're the same. Doesn't matter. and the system will accept both of them. So don't feel like there's a right way to do that. Okay? There's one last thing that I want to cover here, and I would strongly recommend, while I'm doing some erasing, that you get a notebook out. I mean, you're going to want a notebook for the homework anyway, but this might help you. Now, this is something that is only going to work today. It might help you visualize a little bit. Okay? Looking inside of those parentheses. If your problem has two pieces of addition, like it's x squared plus 3x plus 2, plus, then inside your parentheses, both sides will be positive. So if your original answer was plus, your answer will be plus. If you have plus, minus, then your bigger number will have the positive next to. So if you have like x squared plus 5x minus 7, when you factor it, your larger term in parentheses will have a plus. If it is minus plus, then let me think about this for a second. Then they are both negative inside the parentheses. Okay? X squared minus 5x plus 7. Once you break that down into parentheses, they'll be subtracting in both cases. And my last possibility is negative. If you get that, then the bigger term will be negative. Okay, so x squared minus 5x minus 7. When you factor it, the larger number is going to be minus, and the other one will be plus. Okay? So, again, this only works today, but if you're really struggling with, like, how do I get the addition or subtraction, and which one is it supposed to be, this is a system that will work, again, only today, but we'll be able to get you through that. I'm going to be in my Hangout or my Google Meet all day if you need some help, because it's factoring, and I get that factoring is tough. You're probably going to need some help. That's A-okay. Go ahead, pop into my Meet. I'll be here all day. I think I have a meeting from like 10:30 to 11:30. But the rest of the day, other than that, I'm here, and I'm here to help you out. So please, pop in, ask questions. We can do a problem or two together and set you on your merry way. Otherwise, if everything goes great for you, I'll see you on Monday.